I absolutely love board games. They're super awesome. I know it's 2021 and board games seem a little antiquated, but just hear me out for a second. One of the main reasons I started playing board games is my concern of being on the computer for way too long every day. For work, I need to be in front of the monitor, and on the rare occasions I'm not working, I would still be on my computer. While I'm eating, I'm playing on my phone. Sure, it's not my computer, but it's basically the same thing. So at some point, I wanted to at least try and be less of a potato, right? Now, I evidently lacked self-control, so I wanted to get into a hobby that was marginally more healthy. The most obvious solution was to just go outside and maybe play in the sun like normal people, but who am I kidding? I'm not going outside. Also, there's no sun in England anyway, so going outside means walking in the rain. The point is that in the end, I decided the second best solution was to start playing board games with, real people. Okay, so a bit of a backstory. I grew up playing games like Monopoly and Cluedo, which is Clue for the rest of the world. Real basic stuff. And spoilers, Monopoly is not a very good game. It was around 2015 that I started looking for alternatives. Keep in mind, this was way before the pandemic, obviously. This video is just really bad timing, I know. Kind of like the story of my life. So the first game I got into was The Settlers of Catan. This isn't a particularly new game, as it's been around since like 1995, but it's a good starting point for casuals like me. As the name suggests, you're a settler and build roads, settlements, and cities. These give you points, and the first to 10 win. Couldn't be simpler. To build things, you need resource cards like sheep, wood, stone, which you draw every turn, and it's random. Now, you can also trade with other players if you want, but this can be difficult since, well, typically other players don't want to give you the resources you actually need. Catan is great as an introduction to board games, but I felt that the ending was usually anticlimactic because each player has hidden cards in their hand that can also give points. So I'm there trying to scheme a super big brain move like Sun Tzu The Art of War, except there's no war in this game, it doesn't matter, and then bam, the game is suddenly over because someone else just won with 10 points, and it happens like every time. You can't see how many points somebody has. Although it could be that I'm just bad at the game, there's that too. Anyway, for me, Catan is like a 7 out of 10. It's pretty solid, but the endings could be a little better. The next game I'm excited about is Ticket to Ride. This one is about building railway, kind of like making your own little railway empire. I feel as if it's low-key training you on how to be a capitalist. Anyway, conspiracy theories aside, the map depends on which one you choose to buy, as there are many versions, but I've played the American, European, and UK maps. So you draw these coloured train cards each turn, and based on some combination of them, you can build different length railway, and the player with the most points at the end of the game wins. Okay, I feel my explanation makes the game sound really boring, but trust me, it's actually quite fun. The indirect nature of the game makes it quite chill, and you don't really know how many points each player has until the end of the game. Sort of like Catan, but you know when the game is about to end, so at least you have time to plan things a little bit better. So, Ticket to Ride, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10, so pretty good. I think the main downside to the game is that it can feel a bit passive at times, as you can't interact directly with other players except stealing their routes, which is typically done more inadvertently than on purpose. Alright, so the last game I'll talk about today is Takaido. Takaido in Japanese translates to East Sea Road and connects Kyoto to Edo, which is modern-day Tokyo. I literally just read that off Wikipedia, by the way. Still, from a thematic perspective, I absolutely love this game. Call me a weeb, I don't even care. To play Takaido, you get given randomly one of the many starting characters, and they all have a unique ability, making every playthrough different, which is, kind of nice. You move your character across Takaido from left to right. You're a tourist, and you collect points by doing activities, such as buying souvenirs, having spas, painting the landscape, meeting new people, and eating new kinds of food. Takaido feels non-competitive while being competitive at the same time, if that makes sense. Highly subjective opinion, but I'd give this game maybe a 8.5 out of 10. I'm absolutely obsessed with it because of the theme and just how chill it is. I bet the more hardcore board gamers out there might not feel the same way and are probably judging me right now, but unfortunately I don't really have friends who are willing to sit down to learn more complex games with more elaborate strategies, so this is the best I can do. Anyway, I used to be a super competitive board gamer actually, trying to win all the time, and honestly, my best memories are based on who I played with rather than who actually won. So I've learned that it's more important who you spend time with rather than the competitive aspect, if that makes sense. Honestly, there are a lot more board games I wanted to talk about, but this video is getting a little bit too long. Maybe there will be a part 2. The conclusion is that board games are great and everyone should try them.